Do you see how many wins is on LeBron James' game log right now? The Lakers are playing some of the best basketball in the entire league. And I have to talk about it again because it is genuinely one of the biggest surprises for this season. This video is brought to you by Bombas. Bombas is a comfort-focused premium basics brand with a mission to help people in need. Bombas has underwear, socks, slippers and slides, t-shirts, and more. Personally, my favorite thing from Bombas is these slippers here. I've always had a pair of house shoes and Bombas has been number one. Once those are done, I'm probably going to get another pair because they are the most comfortable house shoe I've ever had. Bombas launched in 2013 when they found out that the number one thing that was asked for in homeless shelters is socks. And now, for everything that they sell, they're donating something to the people in need. So you can get some dope socks yourself, some house shoes, some t-shirts, some underwear, and you can do that knowing that you're also helping people in need. And because of their mission, they've donated over 150 million clothing items to people in need. So that's amazing. And when you order, you can feel good because you're doing good. All you need to do is go to bombas.com/Kenny, scan the QR code if you need to, and use code Kenny20. Kenny20 is going to give you 20% off your first purchase with Bombas. Shout out to Bombas again for sponsoring this video. And the reason that it's a surprise is not because we knew that the top end talent of LeBron James and Luka Doncic would coexist. No matter what people said on TV or people said on Twitter, oh, LeBron and Luka won't fit together. They was tripping. We knew that those two guys were going to be able to coexist. In my mind, if this was going to be a successful season for Luka Doncic and LeBron James, it would be because they're blitzing everybody out of the gym offensively. They was going out there, they're dropping 130s, 140s, and you just can't keep up. When the reality is, it's been the opposite side of the ball. When Luka got traded to the Lakers, this is a 100% home run from Rob Pelinka, but majority of people, me included, was like the 2024-2025 season might be lost in the shuffle. And you're willing to do that. It's really about getting Luka, a generational talent, in the door and building around him for the future. And especially when we saw the Mark Williams trade get rescinded, we're like, Jackson Hayes is the starter center? Yeah. The real Luka-led team is going to start next season because they don't really have the necessary pieces around him to contend this year. We were wrong. And you know what? In time, it made sense to have that opinion. You look at Bron and his defensive struggles over the last couple of years. Granted, he's 40 years old right now. You look at Austin Reeves. You look at Luka Doncic. You're like, how would those three dudes coexist on the court defensively? They're amazing. They're amazing. They're amazing. You got to give credit to everybody involved. The players, the coaching staff, everybody involved. But boy, I just got to talk about it again because I truly do believe that the NBA is better when the Lakers are good to great. In my mind, when you think about the contenders, we're talking about teams that can win a championship this season. I have in no particular order. This tier is the Cavs, it is the Celtics, it is OKC, and the Denver Nuggets are sometimes in that tier and sometimes out of that tier. I still don't know what to do with them just yet. I truly do believe that we have to consider the Lakers in that tier as well. This team has Jackson Hayes starting. That's what I'm saying. But like they've been so damn good that we truly have to think about it. Because whether it be the ad test, whether it be the analytics, they're crossing every single box. And not to mention, they got Luka Doncic, a career playoff riser. They got LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time. So like you have to truly believe in it. The first point I want to talk about though is Coach JJ Redick. I remember there was a part earlier in the season where there was a graphic that was like, I'm making up these numbers. Darvin Ham, when he was the coach of the Lakers, through 20 games. And then JJ Redick, as he was the coach, through 20 games, and the records were identical. And it's like, see, Darvin Ham really was a scapegoat. When reality is JJ Redick is just better. Like, you got to give credit to JJ and his coaching staff for being able to incorporate Luka as seamlessly as they have. It's like the offensive fit never was in question for me. The people that were saying that Luka and LeBron can coexist offensively, I don't know if they've watched LeBron James play basketball for the last couple of years. I don't know if they really watched Luka Doncic play basketball for the last couple of years. If you don't think those two dudes will be able to change their game in necessary parts to coexist. Remember, Luka Doncic's teams before Kyrie got there were some of the slowest teams in basketball. Kyrie got there and said, I want to play fast. And Luka was like, I can play fast. And he did. Like LeBron James has been able to play off the ball. He's been begging for somebody to help him play off the ball for years. That's why you saw D'Angelo Russell's usage rate be so high. That's why he believed in Austin Reeves so much, because he's been wanting to kind of play this off the ball role, and now they've been able to do that. But back to JJ Redick. Before JJ Redick was the coach of the Lakers, I had been on this podcast a few times. We had conversations over the phone, over text. And one thing that you would know about JJ Redick is that this man is a heavy analytical guy. He's like the prototypical new age era person watching the game / coaching the game, whatever. He is all about generating the best shot, players being in the right position offensively to generate the highest percentage. Like, that's what he is, who he was until recently. When he said in a post-game interview, and I forget which game this was, that like, I could come up with as many analytical plans as possible. I could come up with any game plan possible. But the only thing that matters is that my team plays hard. Because it don't matter what you draw up. It don't matter what your scheme is. If the players ain't playing hard, then it just doesn't matter. So for JJ to go from the super analytic, and I'm sure the analytics are still a big part of what he does, but for him to be so analytical to be like, at the end of the day, ball players got to hoop. It just shows this type of progression for him as a person and as a coach. Last night they played against the Pelicans. I watched that game live, but I had to watch it again this morning. And there are a lot of different things that the Lakers are doing, and some of the stuff I can't even compute it with my little pea brain. But one thing that stands out more than anything when I watch this team defend is that they are completely okay with just letting people who cannot shoot be wide open. So I compiled out this list, and these sometimes gonna be a still image, sometimes it will be actual gameplay. In this game, Bruce Brown checked in about 5 minutes ago. Bruce Brown is the guy that they determined, whether it be JJ's coaching staff, they determined Bruce Brown, we're gonna sell out. We don't give a damn about what Bruce Brown is doing when he's at the perimeter. Now we know Bruce Brown's a great cutter. He's as a 6'3" forward, 6'4" forward. We don't like when he's in a dunker spot. We got to guard him there. But when he's right here, look at this. They don't care anything about what he's doing. Vanderbilt is playing high because he know Luka Doncic don't got the foot speed. So Luka Doncic is going to have him shade to Vanderbilt's side because we don't care about what Brucey Brown is doing out here. You want to go middle? Oh, good defense. Luka, huh? Bruce Brown, first casualty. Bruce Brown basically couldn't play this game. Me and the guys are watching these two Clippers games live. And I said to the guys, I hope that my wife trusts me the way James Harden trusts Chris Dunn. Because the amount of shots Chris Dunn got from James Harden was ridiculous. And I love Chris Dunn. He's one of my Bulls GOATs. But boy, did they sell out to let him be open. Here's a play where James Harden and a lot of the great ball handlers across basketball would try their very best to hunt Luka Doncic. It's a combination of him not being a great perimeter defender and also a combination of we want him to work defensively so he might be a little bit more tired on the offensive side of the ball. Here's a screen from Chris Dunn to get Luka. And they get the switch, right? They get the switch. But the reality is they don't give a damn about what Chris Dunn is doing, so you don't really get the switch because Gabe Vincent is right here. And then, of course, Chris Dunn is going to break up a three. Shout out to Chris Dunn. No, I love you. The game before that, it was Jaden McDaniels. And Jaden McDaniels has been having a phenomenal month and a half or so. Julius Randle's back, so things might shift. But he's putting the ball on the floor. He's creating for himself. And I was actually really enjoying this game. And this one, the Lakers decided, we're going to guard him, but we also are not. As you see, Jackson Hayes is his defender at this moment in time, but Jackson Hayes is going to lead that. And you do get the kick out to Jaden McDaniels. You get a hard close, but that's a shot that you want to be taken if you're JJ Redick. The game before that, this is a nationally televised game, so everybody saw this. And I can just show you the screenshot. Dante Exum started off this game taking 1,000,000 threes in a row because they didn't really give a damn about Dante Exum being on this floor. The game before that, you know who it was? Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon shot a really respectable 4 of 7 for 3, but it was Aaron Gordon, and I don't have a screenshot for it. It was also Russell Westbrook. Like, when these dudes were open and took a 3, if you're JJ Redick, you feel good. And that's with Aaron Gordon have a career year from 3, but it's like, you're going to have to beat us. You're going to have to beat us, Aaron. This is the shot y'all get, and if he makes them, he makes them, and we're good. And we can go on and on and on during this defensive stretch where they are just completely okay with giving up these open threes to players that you just don't trust. Now, they're about to go through a stretch. We're going to really get a real grasp of who they are as a team because it's Knicks, it's Celtics, it's Nets. They put up a good fight. It's the Bucks, it's the Nuggets again, and then you got this. So like this little stretch, this 5-game stretch will tell us a lot about this current Lakers team. But in this stretch, and I mean, people have been trying to discredit it because it has been the Clippers who are just falling. Yesterday, they blew a 23-point lead to the Suns of all team. It has been the Pelicans who aren't very good outside of Zion. I'm so happy Zion is back. It was the Timberwolves without Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle. It was the Mavericks without Anthony Davis and so on and so forth. But I do want to remind you that during this stretch, they also have wins against Boston. Do y'all remember that win against Boston? I don't know if y'all do. They have a win against the Warriors. And like they can only play the team in front of them for sure, but it's not like they've gone against some good teams and they falter. Like holding the Celtics to 96 points is amazing. I can't even express to you how ridiculous that is as a defensive showing. And that's just the defensive side of the ball. Because the offensive side is starting to come around to after a slower start for Luka Doncic. Remember, Luka Doncic missed 6 weeks of basketball. I don't know a single person in the world that could come back after missing 6 weeks and be the same version himself. So he came in, he started off slow. Well, LeBron told him to fit out, don't fit in. And I thought that first couple games he was trying to fit in, and that's how you get the the Hornets lost. And man, hey, this resume look crazy, even crazy if they got those 2 wins. Regardless, the fit offensively has been pretty damn good. Where Bron says, I'm a natural wide receiver and Luka's a natural quarterback. It feels like once a game we get in a full court pass from one to the other. And it has been incredible that way. But I think one thing that is going under recognized, hold on, let me see if I can find these numbers, is how ridiculous the Luka only minutes have been. And it's not a shot at Bron, obviously. But to be able to say that we have times in the game where we have 2 of the greatest offensive initiators ever on the court together. We have a time in the game where it's just Bron, and then we have a time. There should never be a moment in time, and these 700 minutes is before they played on the same team, right? This is when Anthony Davis is still on the court. There should never be a time where at least one of them is not on the court, and the only time we have that is like last night they blew out the Pelicans. So come on, Bronny, we don't have LeBron James Sr., we got LeBron James Jr. on the court. So to have it so that your offense will always have a supercomputer at the helm is just disgusting. And in the 71 minutes Luka has played without Bron this season, the team has an offensive rating of about 124, and then the defense is as, I don't even know how to explain a 104 defensive rating. Like, I can't even compute that. My only complaints about what I've seen for this team over the last couple of weeks is that they do a pretty poor job closing out quarters at times, where like they'll be up by 15 with 3 minutes left, and then they go into halftime only up by 5. And then Luka and LeBron have been turnover machines during this little time frame. But other than that, everything else has been looking really, really good. Give flowers to Bron again. For him to be 40 years old and for him to care this much defensively is, I can't even put into words. I guess he just had his 50,000th point last night on a 3-point shot against the Pelicans, so shout out to him. But for him to be this locked in defensively is great. It's been a while since I've been like super eager to watch Lakers games. Like, I've watched a lot of Lakers because I love Bron. And again, I'm one of those people that like, you can't take Bron for granted. He won't be playing forever. Well, maybe he will based on the way he's playing at 40. But I've watched so much Lakers over the last 3 to 4 years. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, when Bron's going to be gone. And sometimes I will watch the Lakers and just be like, I'm doing it for my job and I'm doing it to watch Bron, but I don't really like the team. This is the first time I've really enjoyed the Lakers as a whole since they won the championship. And I can only expect this is going to get better throughout time because Luka Doncic, right? Next year, they're probably going to do some things this offseason to use that first round pick that they traded for Mark Williams, use it to get somebody else into the dough, do some more moves around the edges in this team. In theory, should be more catered to Luka / catered to winning more games next year. So it's all in the up and up, man. The Lakers are really back. That's crazy. The Lakers are really back. Shout out to Nico Harris.